Made it. Sorry, I am at the home office here for Take Two Tuesday, so I'm gonna be a little bit out of sorts here. Things are gonna be out of place, so hopefully everything will get working here. I'm wondering if you're getting a lot of echo. Let me know there in the chat. I'm wondering if this other camera is picking up some extra noise. It shouldn't, but let me know. Let me know if the sound is okay. I think it's okay. Welcome. My name is Ken. I'm here for Take Two Tuesday. I'm going to get rid of these headphones because they're way too loud. Yeah, so welcome. Once a week we get together here. My name again is Ken. I'm here at the Stamps of Life, and this time we're at our Crafting Corner office. Crafting Corner office. Things are a little bit different today. I had to help out with HSN, and I'll tell you about that here in just a minute. So Stephanie needed me to do the camera, so I am doing that. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to hang out here and do Take Two Tuesday from our home studio. And we are going to look at a couple die sets. I think I have a little bit, well, it's not really fun facts, but some facts about something that we can go over and learn something about. We'll just have some fun. I'll show you some card ideas, card samples. Yeah, we'll just hang out and have a good time. So what we do on Take Two Tuesdays, we go back in time and look at items from the Stamps of Life that we have that some of you have never seen. Maybe you're new to us, or maybe you just overlooked these items. So we go back in time, we look at these, we'll check them out on our website, and then we will, just have some fun together. So that's our plan. And now some of you have these items already, so it's kind of like a refresher for you, something you want to remember that you have because you want to get them out and use them. That's the point. And we always say this almost every episode is that a lot of the items that Stephanie makes, she has in mind that you can use the items from the past with things that you have today. So you always want to think about how you can do that. So I want to welcome all of you. Let me know in the chat, this is just for fun, if you could mention in the chat, are you actually living in an area with snow and ice right now? Are you in one of those crazy cold areas? Let me know in the chat just for fun. I want to know who's here, so add that in the chat. Actually, here in Southern California, I know you guys are going to be jealous, most of you. It's like 65 degrees. We might hit 70. The sun is out. No ice, no snow, so we are pretty spoiled here. But let me know if where you live, if you are battling the elements. And that's just for fun. Jump in the chat. We like to get everybody involved. So the more you do that, the more fun it is to have everybody involved. So anytime I ask any questions, if you want to answer in the chat, great. If you're watching this show at a later time, you can answer down in the chat down below. Again, I might be hitting some buttons wrong today. Everything is kind of crisscrossed, not exactly where I thought it would be because I don't usually use this studio setup. So I'm going to do my best. All right. We'll still have fun. That I can promise you. All right. So you can see the banner down below me. Stephanie's going to be on HSN again today early in the 1 o'clock hour. Okay. And she wanted me to mention to you that if you go onto the HSN website, you want to type in up at the top bar, secret sale. Because supposedly there are some really, really great deals to be had, whether it's Stamps of Life stuff, which I hope you get, or maybe there's something else you're looking for. But up at the top bar, secret sale, you want to type that in, and that'll get you some extra special discounts. Now, my understanding also, as Stephanie has said, several of the items that were introduced in the morning have already sold out. So you might not be able to get everything. If you have something in mind, you want to get that good price. Of course, we hope you tune in later, but we recommend go there now. Don't put it off. Don't wait. Okay? Don't put it off. Let's see who is out there and who is in the snow. Deborah says she has no snow. Yep. And then SMA Crafts got ice only, which ice can be kind of scary, right? Only cold, says Peggy. And Paula says here in North Carolina, we have ice. I see like some of the trees. I was looking at somebody who I follow who lives in Tennessee, like the branches are just covered with ice, and I guess the branches just start breaking off. Is that right? Or the trees can just crumble because too much ice on them. That's kind of scary. We never have that out here. Rochelle says small amount of snow, about 16 degrees. That's chilly. And Vera Blue says snow only, very cold temps, single digits. Whoosh. We spun out yesterday. Oh, SMA, be careful. Yeah, I can't believe you guys would even travel on icy roads, but I guess you can do it. So yes, good morning to all of you. Thanks for answering in the chat. East Tennessee, I see Valerie says some ice only and super cold. Yeah, I was amazed that it got so cold and that ice became a bigger problem than the snow. Interesting, huh? Okay, so let's see. What else do we have going on? We got our rundown going here. Let me find my slides and all my information. It should all be here. I mentioned HSN. Okay, whoops. Let me get rid of that banner down there. And that will be at 1 o'clock. All right, Stephanie is on today. And then later in the week, so tune in for that just for fun. If you want to watch, great. If you want to shop with Stephanie, you can do that on HSN. And then let's see, what else do we have going on there? I know I have later in the week, we will have Stephanie's Crafting Corner. If you've never watched a Crafting Corner before with us before, you want to join us on Thursdays around 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and Stephanie actually makes a card. And she uses some of the items that we have here that are newer and makes a card, gives you some card ideas. That will be this Thursday. Now, last week was a little bit unusual. We did the organized option products. I hope you've seen those. If you like storage, getting things organized, we have a lot of new items from the organized option on our website. So we did that last week, but this week we'll be back to crafting. And what else? Why is that bar down there like that? That is interesting. I've never seen that. Oh, I wanted to mention, this is important. The lollipop. I'm going to see if I can use the lollipop fold. I think this might work out. Oh yeah, this works. This camera will focus. The lollipop folded die set is here and shipping. If you are a club member, almost about 80% of them went out on Saturday. I got them out right away, and then the last 20% I got in the mail yesterday in the morning. So these should be coming to you if you're a club member. Let me show you some of the other samples that I have for this set. Let's see, that's the one before. I have some good ideas to show you. We have added a lot of club members here with the release of this one, but especially the add-on stamp set, which I will show you, has been way super popular. Falene's all, I think we're going to run out of them, and luckily we had ordered extra, not by on purpose, but by mistake. So we have a lot of extra of the add-on stamp set. So if you get the folded die set, the lollipop, and you like the stamps to go with it, and you're not getting the stamps right now, you can add it. We have enough. All right. So I'm going to show you these samples here in this car. So here is an idea as a shaker. You can go that way. And this kind of looks Valentine's-y. Ooh, like that bow on there. That would be great. And it's an A2 size card. It opens up just like that. You can also do the fold on the side if you like. All right. The fold can be on the side. And here it is on the front of a nice 5x7 card. It'll fit on there just like that. That looks great. Another way you can use it. So remember, foldits are primarily as foldits, but you can put them on a card front. You could decorate a bulletin board. You can, here's one on an A2 size card that it will fit. You saw on the 5x7 it fits. Might work on a slimline. I'm not 100% sure. I don't have a slimline sample, but there's lots of different ways you can use it. Okay. Not just as a folded, but you can. All right. Of course, that's the main design. Here are some of the stamps that we're talking about. One of the phrases you can get and the little stamp that comes with it. I showed you this one, a couple more here, and then I'll show you actually show you the items. Sweet, it says. It's got that cool little bow on there. This will be fun for boys, girls. You can use it in all kinds of different ways. You can go just like that, just like the kind of, I think they have these at Knott's Berry Farm, the swirly ones. And like they're so huge, you just start crunching them after some point. So those are the ideas. And then let me show you the different items that come in this set. So we have, of course, you're going to get an idea card. So some of those cards that I just showed you, they're going to be on there. And there will be more ideas on the website as well. You get the stencils, all over bow stencil, and there is one other stencil in there, but I don't know what it's called. Oh, it should see on this postcard. So the stencils are the bow and also a lollipop stencil. Oh, so yeah, you'll be able to, if you don't want to color, you can use the stencil. So that's going to come in your shipment. And then, of course, the lollipop folded die set. And you get all these cool dies right there, the insides and the outsides to make your nice cards. And then the last thing I was talking about was the stamp set. So a lot of you who are in the Folded Club, you get the stamps already. And a lot of you have added on these stamps this month. So if you want to do that, we still have them available. This is only available to Fold It Club members, all right? So just so you know, and I'll let you see that real quick. So it has all those good sentiments on it. You know what? I'm gonna try to flip my camera real quick because I think everything is backwards. Well, let me see if I can do that. I've never done this live. Let's see. Let's go over here and see if we can. Everything's backwards. I knew something was wrong because on the camera you can have it do mirror my. There we go. That's how I really look. Now things are not backwards. Let's see. And I'm gonna fix something else here. I knew I was missing something. And we're gonna turn that down. All right, we're back. Okay, so there's that. Now they're not backwards. See, it even fixed the letters when I did that. So how about that? So you can get all those sentiments. What's on there? You're so sweet. Have a sweet day. Wishing you a sweet and colorful day. You're a real treat. The world is sweeter because of you. So a lot of cool sayings are on that one. All right, we are moving on. Let's see. I think I went through our rundown. We have the new Fold It. I told you about the organized option items that are now on the website. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to move on. Let me get rid of that. And we're going to get to our first item. I'm going to kind of combine these two items because I didn't have a lot of samples, and they kind of work the same. So you'll understand once I show you. So the first item we're going to look at today, once I get rid of that bottom phrase there, is... where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, and I forgot to mention at the end, if you don't usually hang out with us, sometimes we do games. We do trivia quiz. Today we'll do something different. I'll have the facts, the weather facts. We'll go over that. But then at the end, we'll do our good news devotional too at the end. So if you have your Bible, you want to open up to Luke chapter 18 and check that out. Okay, get ready, Luke chapter 18, and we'll hear what Jesus has to say about prayer. That'll be great. Let me see. So I did all that. Yeah, let's just move on. I got to find that first item. So the first item up is rounded rectangle die set. Now here it is. And you kind of go, wow, it just looks like a bunch of boxes. But let me show you the dies, okay? Or let me show you the some of the card samples here. I'm going to switch cameras, actually. I think I can do this. Let me get this other stuff out of the way without making too much of a mess. And I'm going to switch my camera so I can show you some of these card samples. So let's see, that works good. Again, I'm a little bit out of my normal routine, so bear with me. Let me find the samples. I should have had them ready to go, but I don't. Let's see. So here's the die set. I can at least show you that. There's the dies. I'm going to have to turn it this way because this camera is upside down. So it looks right to you. There's the die set that you get. It has what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dies. Now these are nice. You can layer them and come up with some real fun ideas. And I will show you how we can do that. Let me see. Okay, here's our next item, samples, but we need the samples that we're looking at right now. Great, here we go. I found them. Okay, again, this one is from October of 2021. So again, you're probably wanting to dig down deep in your stash if you think you have this one. Good chance you do. We're past Christmas, but here is a Christmas themed card. Now it looks like all of these cards, our designers use the rounded A2 card base, just so you know. But this one, it says it's the most wonderful time of the year, and that opens up just like that. So this would be the rounded A2 card die set. All right, just so you know, rounded A2. It would also, if I had my other camera, it would stand up like that. So you have the option standing up, and you can also go this direction too. So horizontal or vertical on this one. I'm doing this all backwards, so I hope it comes out okay. My friend, missing you, it says, and look, that is a little shaker on that card front. And this one opens up, let's see, just like that. Very nice. Nice idea. And I've got one more, also a shaker. So it looks like these dies really, they will layer together, but they also have the option where you can do the shaker. And I think I'm going to try to show you how to do the shaker part because I have cut the pieces for that. So we'll give that a try. Now you see when you double the dies together, you can get like these nice strips here. If you just leave it at one layer, you're going to end up with a solid. Let me show you. So when we die cut, we can use these dies to get a large piece like this, or we can also end up with just the frame. So a couple different things that you can do with this. All right, and I'll show you how that works. So that is our first item, and let me show you on the website what we have going with that. So if you just go to our website and you type in, now this will be the hard part. I don't usually do the website this way. So there's my website and I see the item. Now I got to share this page with you. So hang on, we'll do it. We got to switch cameras. No, yeah, let's switch cameras back to me. Nope, that's not me. That would normally be Stephanie. All right, there we are. Let's see. So there's the rounded rectangles. How am I going to find that? So I need to present, and I should be able to show you this page. Share screen, and I hit that, and we are looking at rounded rectangles. So there it is. Share. Awesome. I got it. So if you, whoa, where did that background come from? I don't know what that is. Let me get rid of that. Oh, I used that last week. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Okay, so this is on the website, and we're going to allow cookies. You can scroll. I think the same card samples I have are on here. Yep. So if you want to see those ideas again, nice and bright on the website. 7 dies you get. 7 fits on an A2, making rounded corners. There are some videos with it, and there is that rounded card base. Excuse me. That I was mentioning. You might like that one. And there are some other card bases, but I really think if you're going to get a card base and you have rounded with the rounded corners on the A2 are probably going to look the best. Okay, so that is our first item. And then while we're here on the website, we're just going to go ahead and move on over to the next item that I'm going to show you, which is, I'm going to type it in, inside Scallop. It's a lot. And we're looking for the circles. There it is. That's the one we want. So let me make sure you can still see that. So here is the next item we're going to look at from, yep, we got it. It is also from the same time frame, October of 2021. Let me grab the little marker for that. So if you have this one, cool die set. It kind of layers, though they look a lot different. The squares or the rectangles and the circles, it's kind of the same idea, the things that you can do with it. So let's see. I do have a note for this. Where is it? Where is it? There it is, Inside Scallop. So also from October of 2021, it was added to our website. And so this set of dies, you're going to get 4 dies. And we have a few card samples here. Look at that. You're so, I can't say it. You're snow cute. That's a hard one for me to say. And so that's on there. And then, I do have a question for you. When I just saw that snowman, let me switch back to me real quick. And I know some of you have snow. Where would you prefer to live? This is a just for fun question. If it were 40 degrees all the time, now this is all the time, would you rather live in 40-degree weather all the time, or the other extreme? How about 110 degrees weather all the time? Where would you, if you had to live in one of those areas, where would you prefer to live? Just for fun, answer in the chat, okay? I think I would go with the warmer because, I don't know, I don't have a good reason, but that cold, being 40 degrees all the time. Sometime at our warehouse, it's around 35, and I'm out in the back a little bit. I'm like, ooh, this is cold. So I would not want to be in it all the time. But if you had to pick one of those extremes, would you go for the hot all the time, or would you go for the very cold all the time? If you had to pick one, I'm sure everybody's going to pick hot today because we have such cold weather, but answer that in the chat just for fun. So back to our items, the inside scallop dies right there. And I said you get 4 dies. All right. And the card samples, I made it through that one, but look at just different ways. Again, as a shaker, we just saw, and here it is just on the front of an A2 card, another shaker idea. And just cutting out a circle there too. You can do that right on the card front, and then that would be a window into your card. So there are different ways that you can use these kind of as a background layered there. And you can see they have used some pattern paper. And here it is on the inside. You can just decorate using the circles there. And then back to the die set. So I'm going to move over to our workstation here, where I have done some die cutting, and I'm going to switch my cameras, and I'll show you what we're going to take a look at over there, give you some ideas of what we can do with this. So let me go ahead and remove that. I'm back, and then I'm going to switch over to the workstation. I'll be well, you know what? I'm going to go around the table so I won't be upside down now. We'll be the right direction. Let's do that. We're going to switch over there. Okay, I'll see you there at the table. Give me 1 minute. So yesterday, some of the time I have to test these out ahead of time because I don't always know how all the dies are going to work. You just can't know everything about everything, right? So I gave it a try, and I had that stuff from yesterday. Let me clear this out of the way. That's the folded I want to show you. So I had done some die cutting. I figured out how to cut and where I would get, again, a frame, or if I wanted the inside, that's one possibility with this. And then on the circle, which is this one here, we also have you end up with cuts like this, which you could potentially, I didn't do this, but you could use to decorate the inside of a card or maybe a scrapbook page. You're going to get different layers. So you can layer something like that and add it as decoration to a card. So that's what, when you die cut with just the circles, these circles here, this is what you end up getting with. Your die cut looks like this. All right. So that's what this will create. But at the same time, when you run it through the machine, you end up with this little extra piece, and you have the option. You could use that if you want. Maybe there's some ways you could figure out. It could be a sun in the sky. You might decorate it with a little happy face or something, depending on what color you use. But I want to let you know that is what happens with this. Here is also a sample of if I'm using it as with a pattern paper pad. You can get the patterns, or you can also go that way. So it's really flexible and has a lot of good ideas for you. Here it is just with solid color. So different ways, different looks you're going to get. And again, this is the inside. These are the outsides. And that is on the inside scallop circle. All right, so we'll put that one off to the side. And here's another example of when I used the pattern paper, I ended up with this piece here from the inside, and also this one. So just some different things you're going to come up with. You're going to have inside and outside. You're mainly focusing on using the outside, but you have options to use the other pieces too. Something extra I wanted you to know about. Now, next, we are looking again at the rounded rectangle. And what I did ahead of time is I went ahead and did some die cutting myself. And I wanted to at least show you the start of a shaker. This is a really nice one. Now, I'm not going to make mine look this nice, but I'll show you how at least to get started. All right. So there's the shaker with the circle. And here is the shaker with what I'm going to show you, the rectangle. So that is in there. You're just going to cut all these pieces. You use some foam. You see how there's that foam in there on the inside? That is going to give you the depth so you can have that shaker effect. So that foam, which is, let me show you, I did bring some with me. It looks pretty boring, but it's adhesive foam is in here. And then I also did grab some acetate. So that's going to make the, ooh, that's hard to see, acetate for the window of our shaker. I'm using the adhesive foam, adhesive foam, acetate. I'm going to use both of those. And that's what I did. So my first run through, I had my die cutting machine here. I was using that yesterday, ran it through the machine, and I came up with all these different cuts. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with this? So this is an extra. We don't need it here. We could layer it maybe in the background or something like that. But on this card, no. Now, this is not, I don't think, exactly an A2 size card base. But I just found this scrap, and I'm going to make something out of this. So yesterday, I took the largest die. You can see right here, this one here. And I took it and I ran it through the machine. I created that die cut. Great. So we're off to that start. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the front of my card. Let's see if we can do that real quick. We'll put a little adhesive on here. You don't need much, but just give you an idea how we can build this shaker card on a card front. So here we are. We've got that. Here is kind of like our background. Now, I had cut out a frame here as a layer, but remember how we need that extra depth there. We need that foam to give us that depth to allow the shaking. So next I took the adhesive foam, took a sheet out, and I ran it through the machine. And here we have that thickness that we need in order to have that work. And I also took the acetate and I cut out a piece here that is going to fit and make our window here. So let's try to put this together. This part I haven't done yet, so we're going to see if this works out or not. So we're kind of making this acetate will go on top of this sticker. I'm just mapping this out in my mind to make sure I have it right, because I think, and then this would go on here. That would stick on there. Now, how do I get, the only trick is I've got to get this to stick on my adhesive. So I'm going to have to use some adhesive on this. That's what I'll do. I'm going to go off to the side here, and I don't want to mess up Stephanie's desk and get in trouble. So I better grab some scratch paper, because this is a little more narrow. Now you're wondering, how did I get this frame? Let me show you. What you do is you have two dies, and you run them through at the same time together. Now, I didn't know this ahead of time, but I just worked with it. So if I wanted just the large, that worked for that. We did that, right? Now, if I want to make an inside frame like this, I just take these two dies and run them through the machine at the same time, and it's going to produce this frame like that. It's going to cut out this section that's right in between them, and we get the extra piece in there in the inside. But that's how I did it. Using two of these at the same time, you're going to be able to get that frame. Now let's put those off to the side, and we're going to go ahead and get some adhesive on here, and we'll try to piece this together. Now, I'm not going to add the little sprinkles or the decorations, whatever you would want to add inside, but you'll understand what I am doing here when we put everything together. We would be on the right path to make a shaker card. And of course, we would want whatever we wanted to fill it with, we'd want to do that before we closed everything up like we're going to do. And again, this works. I'm using the rectangles, but it would work with the circle as well. Same idea, just layering together. All right, here we go. Let's give it a try. So I'm going to go ahead and put the, I want to make sure you can see everything I'm doing. So I did add some adhesive to the frame, and I'm going to go ahead and put my acetate on there. And I may not be perfect, just for the sake of time. I just wanted to show you what's possible. And so there's our window. Good, good, good. So we've got that. Boop, boop, boop. Nice. Now we got to take this frame here, and it's double-sided sticky. Remember, adhesive foam or adhesive sheets, they make your die cuts into stickers. So that is kind of what's going to happen here. We're going to go ahead and take this, and my alarm is going off, so I am getting close to my time. And let's see, let's go ahead and add that to there. Whoop. See, I'm not as good at this part. Let me hit that alarm real quick. Whoop. Oh. Okay, so let's see if we can get that to later on there without it getting too crazy. And again, you would want to spend a little more time with this to make sure you get it just right. But you see how this works out? Mine won't be real nice and pretty like these other ones, but you'll get the gist of what I'm doing here. Okay, good. That is pretty good. Now you can see how mine is hanging over there. It's because I didn't take the time to really focus on really laying it down good. But anyhow, we're just going to lay that right on top there. And boom. So again, just ignore my going over. That's just because I wasn't patient enough to get everything lined up. But that is going to give you your shaker items would be right in there. You would line this up just right, so it has it fits in there. One other option you could do is you could use a wider frame here. That would cover up some of that. So if you were to be a little bit sloppy like me, you wouldn't see all the extra come over there. But if you're really good, like our designers, it's all going to line up. You're not going to have any of that extra around the side. Same thing here. Okay. No extras. Or you can go a little bit, you can cut the foam to be a little bit more inside of the frame so it doesn't come out the side like that. So I showed you how to make it really quick and easy, not hard at all. You'd add your little items in there. You'd be good to go with the card front. You could end up with something really nice like this. Here it is, another shaker card and one more. All right, so those are all possibilities with this collection of dies that I showed you today. The inside scallop circles, where are those? Here's the rectangles, and here are the circles that we had talked about too. Both of those about 4.5 years old. They are on our website. I bet some of you have them already. So take them out, use them, make some fun like that. Doesn't have to be shaker. You could just layer them and make pretty cards. Up to you. Great options. So I hope you like those. Those are on the Stamps of Life website. If you're new to us, you can pick them up. If you have them, again, get them out and use them. I bet if you are stuck at home in the cold today, you might actually have some time to make cards, right? And I do just for fun. I was looking at the national days today, things you could celebrate if you're stuck at home and you need to celebrate something. Today is National Chocolate Cake Day. How about that? National Chocolate Cake Day. So there you go. You can make a cake if you want for fun. That would be good. Can't go wrong with that. National Geographic Day. So like taking photos. There's some other weird ones on here. If you ever look at this, it's daysoftheyear.com. There are some weird things that people celebrate. At least they seem weird to me. So maybe there might be some weird things that you really like, and there might be some things that I like that you think are weird. You just never know. I guess people are all different. But we have National Plan for Vacation Day. This one is for the guy who invented the toilet. I guess this is where you get. So he invented the toilet. His name is Thomas. This is probably gonna laugh. You're probably gonna laugh. Thomas Crapper Day. Yeah. So thanks to Thomas, we all have toilets, which is good. Speak Up and Succeed Day. Punch the Clock Day. Does that mean you can just stop working and go home? Maybe. So there's all kinds of weird stuff that you can celebrate on here. Some are good. Some, like I said, are weird. But I like the cake one, and that sounded good to me. That would be my number one for today. I like pictures. I like photography, but chocolate cake, you can't go wrong with National Chocolate Day cake. So that is some things that we can celebrate. What else do we have to cover? Oh, let's look at our facts for our winter stuff. Normally we do what we call fun facts, but today this might not be so fun because if you're in the middle of the storm and you are going through it right now, it might not be so great. It might not be so great. So let me see what I can find here. I'm going to share that screen and we'll go over these facts, and then we'll end up with our Luke chapter 18. We'll go to that. Let's see. So, how do I share that? I always forget how to do this. Share. You can at least read along with me. We're going to share a screen again. Sorry, I have to always talk to when I do this. I have to remember, how do I do this? Share a screen. Yes. And we want 11 facts about ice storms. Oh boy. Here we go. So ice storms are caused by freezing rain. Now, probably if you guys live in these areas and you experience this, you probably know. But for people like us here in Southern California, this is all new to us. So freezing rain, we don't have it around here. So it says the raindrops move into a thin layer below freezing air right near the surface of the earth, allowing them to freeze on contact. When they hit the ground, the trees, cars, and other objects. Interesting, huh? And then number 2, ice accumulates when super cold rain freezes on contact with surfaces that are below freezing point. It can be dangerous, especially it says be careful if you're walking on it. We know that. Number 3, throughout the U.S., ice storms often occur mostly between December and January. Here we are, January. They're right on. And then ice storms have the bizarre effect of entombing everything in the landscape with a glaze of ice so heavy that it can split trees in half and turn roads and pavements into lethal sheets of smooth, thick ice. Remember, like black ice? You probably have heard of that. Ice can increase the weight of branches by 30 times. That's why they, excuse me, they just start snapping. They can't stick together. And then urban areas tend to suffer more economically and physically because everything is concentrated, right? And when everything is close together and it turns into a big block of ice, that's not good. Oh, let me see. Midwest and Northeast are prime areas for freezing rain. I saw it even got down into the South this time. Driving during an ice storm is extremely hazardous, so stay off the roads. Ice can cause vehicles to skid out of control, big car crashes. The National Weather Service refers to winter storms as deceptive killers because most deaths are indirectly related to the storm. So some of the time people just don't stay warm enough. Here it talks about a couple of big storms from back in 1998. And then this is very similar to now. Back in 2008, there were about 1.25 million homes and businesses without power. So that makes it very difficult to live, right? When you don't have power, aren't we all like really, really dependent on power? When the power is out, wow, we really, really miss it. I know every once in a while we'll have the power go out around here just for an hour or two, and it's like, we can barely function anymore. I'm all, what is going on? Because when the power goes out, usually the phones go out, and then no phones, there's no internet, no TV. It's like all the things that we spend all our time doing, they just get taken away. And of course, besides having light or being able to cook. So that is our tips about ice storms. Fortunately, in Southern California, we don't have them. If you are going through an ice storm or a super cold place, I hope it warms up for you. I hope you have power. I guess if you're making cards, a lot of the machines are manual, right? We can still keep going on as long as you have some light. So for card makers, you still have a chance. All right. So I hope you like the dies that I showed you today. And I think those were fun and some fun ideas. Let's go ahead and finish up with our good news segment. Luke 18. Luke chapter 18, and I will grab the verse for us to see. Now, Jesus did a teaching about prayer, and that's what we're talking about. And he said, well, at the beginning, before he tells the story, it's a parable type story. He says that, the basis of the story is that people should not give up, not lose heart when it comes to prayer. So let's go ahead and grab our verse, and then I'll kind of give you an overview of what Jesus said. So it says, then he, that's Jesus, spoke a parable to them that men always ought to pray and not lose heart, saying, and then it goes on to tell the story. So the story is meant to say, hey, you always ought to pray, men, women ought to pray and not lose heart. So that's like, don't get discouraged. Don't give up. So I'm reading my Bible on my phone today. Let me find that here, Luke 18. So if you go on just after this verse, and so that highlights us and reminds us, hey, we ought to be praying and we ought to not give up. But if you go on to read the story, there's this woman who is very persistent, and she keeps coming to this judge, bringing her problem to him. And she kind of won't quit. She kind of won't give up. She keeps coming to him asking for justice, wanting to have justice carried out. Well, the problem is this judge, it says in the story, he's not a good guy. It says he doesn't care about God and he doesn't care about people. And so he says, but this woman just keeps coming to me and she is so persistent and she's wearing me down. My patience is running out. And he says, you know what? He says, finally, I'm just going to give her what she wants just so she'll leave me alone and stop bothering me. So Jesus gives this example, which is kind of strange, right? You think this judge, he's bad. He's not a good guy. He doesn't care about people or God. And Jesus uses him as an example. Now, remember, this is a parable, a story. It's trying to teach us a lesson, but Jesus is using different symbols, people, maybe in an unusual way, a way that you wouldn't expect. But here's the good news for us. God is not like this bad judge, this guy that's no good. God really does care about you, and God really cares about me, and God is interested in you, and he's interested in me. And when we pray, God hears our prayers. And that's all great news because God wants to help us. Isn't that great to know that it's like when we pray and we ask God for help, he doesn't just ignore us like this judge. He doesn't just try to push it off, or he doesn't say, stop bothering me. None of those things are true about the Lord, which is wonderful for us to know that he cares and he's interested in our lives. Well, what are we to do? Our part, according to Jesus, is don't give up. Don't give up when it comes to prayer. Sometimes things don't go the way we expected them to right away, but God has his perfect time and his perfect will for you and for me. And I believe he's going to answer our prayers. And I was trying to think about this, kind of visualize this in a way. Think of like, there's the balance, a scale, and maybe it's kind of out of balance at first. One side has a lot more weight than the other. But so think of it as we're praying and we keep praying, we start adding to the side that doesn't have as much weight. And eventually, how you keep adding weight to that other side, it starts to shift, right? And this side starts to go in this direction and the other side starts to change, right? And go up. So as I think that's a good way to look at our prayers. Sometime when we keep praying, we're just adding to those prayers, and little by little, that scale, way things are going in life, can start to change. But the point for us, again, is we don't give up. We have to be persistent. And sometimes it can just be that one last prayer that we pray that finally gets to that breakthrough where God really moves and it's in his time. I think that's one of the key things is when our prayers don't get answered as quickly as we had hoped for, maybe God just has different timing than us. If we pray and we say, God, I want your will to be done, then some of the time I think our prayers, he's not going to answer them the way we had hoped because he's doing what's best for us, right? I think some of the time he'll be in agreement with us, but mainly we want to get into agreement with him so we can understand when prayers don't get answered the way we had hoped for, that God is still working, he cares, but he knows that's not best for us. But then at the same time, timing is really important. And God knows the best time to come through and break through and answer our prayer. So I really want you to know that and understand that from this parable. Jesus says, people, don't give up, don't lose hope. That one next prayer could be the one that breaks through and some big change happens in you or me or in somebody we're praying for. But don't lose hope. And that is a part of developing faith. We don't give up. We keep praying. We keep asking God for help. We can trust him. We can depend on him. We know he loves us, right? We know that. We know that life is tough, but God is working through our lives. He's going to use those difficult times to teach us sometimes. And then he's going to use those answered prayers to show us, hey, I was always here with you. I told you I was, and I came through, but on the time that I thought was best for you. And then there's going to be times when God says, no, I'm not going to do that for you, or I'm not going to give that to you because it just wouldn't be good for you. So if we have that kind of understanding, it'll help us. When we don't get our prayers answered the way we hope, we won't get discouraged, and we'll keep asking and keep seeking and keep knocking. We'll continue to be persistent, and then we'll see what God will do as we seek him, as we seek his help through prayer. So I hope you find that helpful today. Again, you can find that story in Luke 18. And again, don't get mixed up Jesus or God being like a bad judge. I don't know why Jesus chose to teach some of the time in the ways he did. Maybe it's just to grab our attention. But I want you to know that the Lord is really good, and he really does love you, and he really cares about you. Okay, I am going to wrap it up today. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your day, whatever you're up to. Stay warm. If you have access to HSN, if you want to see what's going on Craft Day, you can tune that in. If you want to hang out on the Stamps of Life website, we got tons of videos there. If you are getting bored, like if you're stuck in your house, you might be getting bored. But hopefully you're able to get out and about and just enjoy the day and enjoy the blessings. And then if you have something you've been praying about, just keep praying. Just don't give up. All right? Just don't give up. All right. I am going to get back to work here at the home office. No shipping or warehouse work today, so it's kind of different for me, but I'll be back here in the video room around 1 o'clock when Stephanie goes on HSN. And that is it. That is it. Have a wonderful day, all of you. Thanks again for hanging out with me. I'll see you probably next week for Take Two Tuesday. There might be some that I miss every once in a while, but I'll try to post if that's going to happen. But plan is to try to be pretty regular, but I think I will be missing some few Tuesdays every once in a while. All right. But have a wonderful day. I will see you soon. Take care, all of you. Bye bye.